What's up, YouTube? All right, so today I'm actually out in the Palisades. I actually have a lot of deliveries out here. But right now I'm actually off of Monument Street, and I just delivered a bunch of lagging over here to this job site. They're doing a foundation over here on the right, or like digging a hole to make a basement kind of thing, right? So anyways, I got some work here in the Palisades, and I'll be doing a little drive-through update of the Pacific Palisades and in this particular area. I got to do a job right over here on the left on Via Deopaz. So we're going to go ahead and do a quick little drive-through update, all right? I hope you guys enjoyed the video. All right, so this job is literally just on the other block, so I'm only going to film for a second and then do the delivery, and then I'll get back in the truck and we'll continue the video, all right? So I'm pretty sure I'm on Monument Street right now, and then this is Boulevard, or yeah. And there is a lot of houses under construction in this area, which is good. It's great. I mean, there's still a lot of empty lots, no question about it. But starting to see more and more foundations and frames being constructed. So that's great. Alright, so I got a job site right here on the left. I got to drop off some stuff, so I'm going to pull over on the right and do this delivery really quick, and then I'll get back in the truck and we'll be on to the next one. All right, so this is Charm Acres Place and basically Via Deopaz. All right, give me 1 second. I'm going to handle this real quick and we'll continue the video. All right, so I just got done with that delivery. Now we're off to the next one. Actually got to go off to Sunset Boulevard, but I'm going to make a quick little left here on Albright Street just to see if there's anything new in this area. This used to be a big commercial property right here. I don't know exactly what it was, but and then off here to the left, this tiny little house was somehow able to make it, survive the fire. I'm going to make a left here onto Charm Acres Place. It's a lovely home right up here on the right hand side being constructed. You can see all of these homes were and are still surrounded by, trees. Not too many homes up there in the hills ahead of us under construction. Those will be the most challenging to rebuild by far, outside of the homes on the beach. The beach is going to be the most challenging, no question. All of those beachfront properties in Malibu are going to be very hard to rebuild. It's going to take a decade to rebuild. Maybe not a decade, but a really long time. It's funny, I actually went to this steel company the other day called Bellis. So right here we're on Bester Boulevard. There's a rebar company called Bellis in, I think it's Canoga Park. It's either Canoga Park or Chatsworth. But anyways, I go there the other day to pick up a bunch of rebar, and when I went there, they were building massive caissons, probably some of the biggest ones I've ever seen, or cages, and they're the epoxy coated rebar, which means that it's going to be somewhere near the ocean. It's probably built for one of these houses on the beach, which means that somebody on the beach got the A-OK, the green light, to start doing a foundation. You can see these trees right here on this street. I'm pretty sure this is Embry Street. These massive, I don't know if they're eucalyptus trees, but man, when they caught fire, shit, it's always really hard. These paisas park their cars like this. I got like an inch on the left and an inch on the right. Maybe not that much, well, little, but 6 inches on the left and 6 inches on the right. But anyways, you can see these giant eucalyptus trees. These things were like blowtorches. They caught fire and the wind was blowing, and man, they would just throw embers for miles. So this is Albright Street right in front of us. Go ahead and make a left. I actually got to make my way towards Sunset, so I'm going to make it right here onto Fiske. Actually, no, I'm not going to be making a right here onto Fiske. I can't make that turn. I'll make a right here onto Galloway. Okay, so, ooh, it's gonna be tight right here, boy, I'll tell you. Got a couple of houses that are, you know, ooh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make this. I think I'm gonna have to back out. Yeah, I don't even want to risk it. I don't think, further down the road there was, a couple of trucks that were parked very poorly, so I don't even want to risk going down there and dealing with that when I don't need to. I remember how challenging it was before the fire, when all of the residents lived, you know, you'd come into these areas bright and early in the morning, and all their homeowners, their cars were just parked out on the street, and it was always so challenging to navigate. And it'll be like that as well. The roads are very narrow. So I'll try to get out here on Hartzell. This street, I don't know if all the streets are the same width, but this one seems like it's a little bit larger. But then again, maybe it's just because there's not as much construction going on this particular section, or this street. So right here is Bashford Street and Hartzell. Again, going down this street, you'll see, I'm pretty sure these are eucalyptus trees, but, you know, they've obviously recovered from the fire after a year. Oh wow, somebody put a trail cam up in that tree. So this is Cary Street. I'm gonna make a right here onto Cary. Oof, look at these roads. Shot. Yeah, this is a very narrow street right here. When these houses right here on Galloway and Cary Street on the corner get rebuilt, and and all of the construction workers park their cars on this street in particular, it's going to be very challenging to navigate in between them. So here's Sunset Boulevard. You still got to be really careful here on Sunset, even though they're done. It looks like they're done burying the power lines in this particular section. There's cops everywhere hiding, like little motorcycle cops. Observant. You got to drive very carefully. I wonder how these local businesses are doing. I know that they might be getting a lot of business from construction workers when it comes to like fast food, like the Chipotle and like the taco trucks and stuff. But these other companies, like these little mom and pop stores right here on the right hand side, these little clothing stores and the little Erewhon and the Lululemon and the banks, I don't know how these little dry cleaners right here on the right, I don't know what they're gonna do. Shame. I bet you there's a gas station right here on the right. It's a Shell. And that one was obviously damaged in the fire. And then there's another gas station right here on the left, the 76. I bet you their business is booming now. Because they're the only little gas station right here on this cross section now, or intersection. And all these semi trucks come in there and they pick up diesel early in the morning. I remember going over here to this little park area on the right hand side, and I was dropping off truckloads of gravel and burlap and sand right after the fires. I would literally just come back and forth and do that. And it looks like the school on the left hand side, Palisades High School, has a bunch of those bungalows that are built and set up. Not sure if the kids are back in school or what, but you know, if you've got the ability to not go to that school right now, I wouldn't go there. I think you want to give it some time before going back to Palisades High School. You see a lot of these I don't know if they're condos or apartment complexes. They got 4 lease signs in front of them all. You know, I'm actually very curious to see how these fires have impacted rental prices. I wonder if rents have gone down in these little apartment areas. Wow, there's a house being constructed on that hill right there, or not being constructed, they're pouring a frame, which means they got the permits and the approval. So they're rolling. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a right-hand turn, or just continue going straight here onto Marquez Avenue. Little guys right here. Adam Crowley makes a great point. He says, you know, you got all these businesses selling tacos and selling food, and if they're legitimate, they have to, you know, be licensed, bonded, insured, and they have to have the, you know, health inspector come out and grade them and make sure everything's sanitary and up to code and this and that. And these fucking other guys, they just post up on the street and they set up shop in their van or their little car, and they just start flipping burgers and selling tacos, and nobody fucks with them. You got to be really careful when you eat from those types of places. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten, I don't know if it's food poisoning, but you eat some sketchy Mexican food off of the side of the, you know, street in the wrong neighborhood, and that grease that they use has been sitting there for weeks. I wouldn't recommend eating from those types of places. All right, so right here, this is Ida Street. Ida and Edgar. And I got a job site right up here on the right-hand side that I gotta go to. Drop off a couple of pallets of product. So I'm gonna drive down here a little bit, see if I can find a place to pull over. It's probably right here, this house here on the right, where they're throwing up a frame. Wow, and right next door you have that tiny little old home. They just should tear it down. Oh no, right here. Here's where I'm going. They're doing a frame right here. Okay, so this is Marquez Avenue. And there's the Marquez Charter Elementary School. So I'm going to pull over right here and take care of this real quick. And then we will continue the video. All right, just give me 1 second. All right, so I just got done with that job site. Didn't take very long. Things actually went pretty smooth, so off to the next one. It's actually a really beautiful day out here. It's perfect. I have to go ahead and make my way down to Sunset Boulevard, which is just in front of me. But before I do that, I'm going to do a quick little tour over here. This is Bollinger Drive. This was a very nice place over here. This was one of my favorite areas. Something about it. It's like the alphabet streets to me. I really enjoy the alphabet streets and right here as well. Something about it. It's just a very nice place to live. Again, as you guys can see, there's a lot of empty lots still. And obviously, you know, that's for a number of reasons. You know, and money usually sums it up. But, you know, over time, all of these homes will be rebuilt. It's just some are going to take a lot longer than others for financial reasons, you know, money. go ahead and make a right-hand turn onto Sunset. There's a couple of cars behind me. Better go, lady. See those big old trees right here on the left. Could you just imagine for a second like what it would look like if that 60, 70 foot tree, whatever, was on fire? Oh my God. And then just imagine the entire city ablaze. It's still surreal, you know, and that's one of the reasons why I make these videos, is to try and kind of shed light on how devastating it really was. It still baffles me, and it's like it's actually unbelievable that something like that could happen, man. It's really hard to make right-hand turns sometimes because I gotta kind of swing wider than your typical car, and then this bicyclist, he just come out of nowhere flying. Like you can't even see him. You gotta really be observant. And then they get right in the lane, and then they, you know, like they own the fucking road. And that's why these people, you know, they get killed all the time. You know, they got the right of way, but, you know, people blow them off their bikes, and then they just keep driving. It happens on Pacific Coast Highway. It happens in Topanga Canyon. It happens every day in Los Angeles. These bicyclists, they think they own the road, and they just get whopped. And just people just keep driving. Understand why they do that. I know that there's a bike lane, but I mean, you're putting your life in someone else's hand. If I was a cyclist, I would be on the opposite side of the road, and I would be driving toward oncoming traffic so I can see what, you know, whether or not these drivers are actually paying attention to you. That's what I would do. And I would also ride my bike on the sidewalk. That's what I did when I was a kid. And people will say, oh, that's illegal. Like, oh, yeah. This is Los Angeles. Everything's illegal, but nobody does anything about it, so. The law, your life is more important than the law. And riding blindside to these lunatic drivers is like not the smartest thing to do. You're putting a whole lot of faith in someone else. Actually quite surprised that this canyon actually held up after the fire as well as it did. There were some pretty big mudslides, but not as bad as I had thought that they would have initially been. Years ago in the Montecito fire, there was mudslides that were so bad. Well, I don't know if it's the Montecito fire. I guess it was the Thomas fire. And it went from basically Ventura to Santa Barbara, even past Santa Barbara up to like Goleta. But there's this little rich, wealthy community called Montecito just south of Santa Barbara. And I remember homes, just literally small homes, just being completely washed away. If, you know, they were spared by the fire, but then the mud came afterward. mudslides came after, and homes just were completely washed away. And I think a lot of people, and sadly children, ended up missing because of those mudslides. You know what I mean? Like, they were in their houses and just, going about their business, and then it was raining over a period of like a week or two or however long, and one day a big old rock come down and boom, hit the house or something. People were missing because of it. Children too. You don't think stuff like that could happen, but it does. This used to be a really beautiful area right here. I still don't think that there's a reservoir over here, the Santa Ynez Reservoir. I still don't think that thing's filled up. I'm not sure. Either townhomes or condominiums right back there on the right hand side. Those are for sale. I'm not sure how I'm actually curious. There's another one for sale. I'm actually curious to figure out what has happened to the value of these townhomes in this area as a result of these fires. How significant of an impact has this fire played on those townhomes? I'm not sure what the address is right there, but this is 1900, what is it, Vista? Oh, 1900 Palisades Drive. There's some condos back there. There's a couple of empty lots over there on the left that are for sale as well. Those are like 55 and older communities. Those things kind of sell for less anyways. They should make 50-year-old and under communities. And make them comparable prices. Alright, so I'm not sure how to say this. Pedra Morada Drive, Palisades Hills. Looks like they're doing all the landscaping up here on the left. Kind of a waste of money. Arbadola. I don't know how to say it. These are some beautiful houses up here. I haven't come up here in quite a long time. But as you can see, it was kind of hit or miss. The fire, there's a property there that was burned down, another one here, and then some of these other houses. Obviously, like, these people have a lot of money. If you're living up here in this section, you're doing something right. These are beautiful homes. These palm trees don't look like they were burned. They don't look scored or scorched. Probably why this community is still somewhat here. But then look, off to the left, oh, you guys can't see it, it's off out of your purview. There's two homes right there that are burned down. Actually there's 4 or 5, I don't even know how many actually. So for whatever reason, this little section on the left got burned up. But I got a job site back there. So I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that real quick. And I think that'll go ahead and wrap up the video. Let me go ahead and turn around. This is Chastain, C-H-A-S-T-A-I-N. It looks like this lot in front of me is for sale. This is 1648 Chastain Parkway East. If you guys want to see how much they're listing their property for, it's a really beautiful location, if you ask me. I don't know if they have ocean views, but it's still a beautiful place. But they are pretty vulnerable to wildfires in this section. Anyways, that's going to go ahead and wrap this video up for today. I hope you guys liked the video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And until next time, I'll talk to you guys later.